Hello, I am going to talk about the link between kratom and the workforce and disability. Sorry for the delay in making this video, but I've just got a new job and I've been really busy, so I wish I would have put this out a little sooner, but better late than never. So the thing that made me interested in the link between kratom and disability and the workforce was a video that was put out by a woman named Jessica Anderson. This was one of the first kratom videos that I had viewed, and it was being widely circulated because it was a very powerful video. And I'll post the link to that video below. Anyway, she had mentioned that she had multiple illnesses, including Chiari malformation and Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. And because of this, she had had multiple surgeries. She was in a lot of pain. She was on a lot of prescription pain meds. And she was unable to work because of all these factors. And she had been on disability for at least 6 years. She stated in her video that after she discovered kratom, she felt a lot better. She was able to be productive. She didn't feel foggy like you can feel when you're taking a lot of prescription pain medications. And she felt like she wanted to start looking for work again, which was an amazing development because she had been disabled for at least 6 years and receiving disability payments. So I wanted to find out what the potential effect of a kratom ban would be. Would it cause people to exit the workforce and have to go on disability? So I did some literature review as far as what's out there, looked at anecdotal evidence, and also took several surveys to get my results, or to get my my theory on what I think may happen if there's a ban on kratom. So I want to talk a little bit about disability first. There's about 8.8 million people on disability in the U.S. currently, and most of you probably know, but disability benefits are paid by the Social Security Administration, and they are for people that have a disability that is so severe that it makes them unable to be employed in any type of work. So they don't award disability payments easily. There's only about 30% of people that apply for disability that actually get awarded disability benefits. And that is because the Social Security Administration, in reviewing many of the applications, will think like this. Let's say somebody is wheelchair bound, and so they apply for disability. Well, the Social Security Administration that's reviewing the application might say something like, okay, so you're in a wheelchair, so perhaps there's some active work that you can't do, like you couldn't work in construction or work in a warehouse, but maybe you could get a desk job. So it's not easy to get disability. You have to demonstrate to the Social Security Administration that you cannot perform any type of work. And if they review your application and they find that, yes, you are so disabled that you can't work at all, then they will award you a disability payment. The average disability payment is about $1,156 in the U.S. One of the surveys that I took asked of people that were currently in the workforce, so either working for an employer or self-employed, how many of them consumed kratom. Of the people that consumed kratom, how many were in the workforce? Sorry, let me repeat that. The survey question that I asked was, of the people consuming kratom, how many were in the workforce? And there's an estimated 4 million people that use kratom. So according to my survey, 69% of the respondents stated that they were in the workforce. So if you break that down, that means that there's about 3 million people in the workforce currently, or who own their own business currently, that consume kratom. The second survey that I had asked was, survey question that I had asked was, so of those people that are currently consuming kratom that are working, if a ban were to go through, would you realistically feel like you could no longer work and would have to apply for disability so that you could have some kind of income if you were unable to work? And 32% of the respondents stated that yes, that is how they felt. That kratom helped them so much that if it was not available, they felt like they would not be able to work at all and would be applying for disability. So that means that about 1 million people potentially would be forced out of the workforce if a kratom ban were to go through and would be applying for disability. That in itself is very significant, I think. Any public policy that moves 1 million people from workers to disability applicants seems like it's a horrible idea for public policy. Now, not all of those applicants are going to be approved, of course. Like I said, it's only about 30% of applicants that get approved, which means there would be about 300,000 workers that would go from being part of the economy to receiving disability payments. And if you run the numbers on that, 300,000 people times the average disability payment, $11.56 per month, times 12 months, you're looking at a cost of $4 billion. I think that also is very significant. That's a very high cost to as an expense, as an outgoing expense for the government, an additional $4 billion. Not to mention, there's now 1 million people out of the workforce. And for the other about 600,000 that didn't get approved for disability, they probably would then be applying for cash aid, food stamps, and things of that nature so that they could survive, which of course is another added expense. More government spending on that wouldn't be necessary. The final question that I had asked in my survey was, I wanted to know if there were people that actually were like Jessica Anderson that had been on disability and actually got off of it and entered the workforce due to kratom. And so I asked people that actually had been approved for disability, meaning the government had reviewed their case and saw that they were so disabled they could not perform any kind of work and received an award. Of those people, how many of them were able to return to work after discovering kratom? And 18% of them said that that was the case, which is huge. That's almost 20%, 1 in 5. 1 in 5 people on disability being able to get off disability and return to the workforce because of kratom. It seems so obvious, so clear from this research at least, that kratom is so beneficial economically. Aside from many questions about, quality of life and personal liberty, a ban on kratom makes horrible economic sense. Post your comments below. Let me know what you think. If you agree or disagree, I'd love to hear from you. Thank you.